welcome to our new podcast. This podcast is a very new podcast. It's called By Teachers for Teachers, and it is created for tutors, teachers, former tutors, and educators, for them to come together to share the latest insight and news on the education sector. So it's a place where all these people can come together, share their best practices to help each other to improve. And for this podcast series, we are going to discuss about all the latest news. We're going to discuss about the most exciting news, so that everybody will be up to date with the education sector.
Alright, so this is a very new podcast, and what will we be discussing in this episode?
Basically, the latest news is that this gifted education program, and this gifted education program will be converted to become the higher ability program. So it is, I think this is the latest news that we should discuss about, and a lot of people will want to know each other's insight about this.
Yeah, and this is the latest topic that people are interested to know about right now, and I really wonder how it is going to affect the children in the future.
I think the best part about this program is that it is going to benefit more children, and the really good part about this is that they don't have to travel far for this new educational program, this higher ability program.
Yeah, I read about that. So they were saying that more than 3,000 students will now be eligible to join this higher ability program. And actually, can you elaborate more on this traveling portion of this program?
Okay, so what's happening is that usually in the past, these students for the higher ability program, previously it was called the gifted education program. So what's happening is that there are actually more than 180 schools in Singapore, 180 primary schools in Singapore, and only about 9 of them have the gifted education program. So with this conversion into this higher ability program, now all schools will have their own higher ability program. So the identified students don't have to travel to these 9 schools, and all they have to do is to stay within their own school, and this will cut the traveling time, and this will means that it's going to be less tiring for the students.
Yeah, actually I remember about this gifted program, and I wasn't selected for this program, but many of my friends were, and when they were selected, they actually had to transfer to another school, and it was during this period when I was in primary 3. Therefore, when they transferred school to attend this gifted program, I was like left without any friends, and I had to start anew to make new friends because most of my social circle disappeared to join this gifted program.
Yeah, so it's the same thing for these gifted students, because when they leave their original school to join the gifted program, they have to transfer school, they have to adapt to a new environment. So it is actually very difficult for them, and most of their friends that they make from primary 1 to primary 3 also disappeared. So they have to also start anew. They also have to make new friends at the new school, and some of them cannot adapt to it, and they become, a lot of them cannot adapt to it, and it's actually quite challenging.
But come to think of it, it's actually quite easy for young kids to make friends. I think that young kids can make friends more easily than adults can. Then apart from this, they also say that now the children can be enrolled in this program at multiple stages of their academic life, right?
Yeah, correct. So they can they can be enrolled into this program at multiple stages of their academic program. But the thing is that actually young kids not all young kids can make friends easily as well. It really depends on the kid's personality. So I really disagree with that. I think that it really depends on the kid. And about this multiple joining the program at multiple stages is that now instead of being enrolled only at primary 3, they can also join at primary 4, 5 or 6. And there are different criteria to joining this program.
What kind of different criteria? Can you tell me more about it?
So in the past, right, it used to be one single academic test that determines whether or not they can join the gifted program. But now, after the test, in addition to the test, there's also other criteria such as project work. That maybe it could be project work, and maybe it could be teachers' observation of the students' academic progress in certain subjects. And based on all these different criteria, based on all these different observations, right, the students can be given a chance to join the higher ability program either at primary 4, 5, or 6.
So do you think that this move by MOE, is it for better or worse for these students, or maybe it's not really that a good move at all?
I can't comment whether is it a good program right now, but if you work out the mathematics, now there's 7% being identified for the gifted program, but once this is converted to the new program, the higher ability program, it means that 10% will be selected to join the higher ability program. And this higher ability program means that more students are joining, and they will be joining it at all the schools.
Then if more students are joining the schools, this means that this is a good move. It means that this program is going to benefit even more students than ever before.
Actually, no, because it depends on how you see it. For example, if you think that it's going to benefit more students, then okay, because they're just looking at the numbers. But if you're looking at the overall quality, then maybe it may not be so good, because you think about it. If you think about it, okay, that now every school has a higher ability program, and then more students are being identified for it. But these students will not be able to mix with the brighter students from other schools, and they will continue to mix just among themselves. So if they just mix among themselves, right, then I think that the quality, how far they can go will be limited, because they will only know the brightest from their own schools. So they won't know how bright the students are from the other schools. And if, let's say, they have the chance to mix with the brightest from other schools, right, actually, they will become even better. So, but now they may not become even better, they're just becoming back. Just mixing around with their own classmates now, so that there is limited progress in that.
Well, that's because you are associating the quality of the program to association with their classmates. And if you don't think in this manner, you just look purely at the quality of the educational program, then this means that more students will be assessing better educational content according to their learning ability. So I think that is actually a good idea.
For me, I don't think it's a good idea, because for me, I think that the quality of the education program is not just about the education content itself, because you also have to look at your classmates. When you combine these two together, your classmate association with your classmate and the quality of the program, you combine it together, it will be the overall educational environment, and it is this environment that helps to shape the gifted student, the high ability student, and bring them to an even higher level. So I think that if you put them in a selected school, you let them mix with the brightest classmates in the system, and then you give them good educational content as well. Combine all this together, then you will be able to elevate them to even higher level. So this is why I think that actually this move is not really that good, and there are some drawbacks to it lah.
Well, I think that is a rather simple situation that we have on hand right now, because apart from the good educational program, and then you're saying that there's the importance of having the classmates, the gifted program students, to associate with the better students from other schools, right? So I think it's rather simple to solve, because all you have to do is to have them to interact with students from other schools through like competitions or like a leaderboard, so that they know the standing of the students in other schools. They can compare, and then they can improve on their standings. And it's rather simple, isn't it?
Okay lah, now that you say this, it actually is quite true. You had let them interact through competition, or let them know of the scores of other students from other schools, so that they can compare and improve. But actually my thinking is that on a daily basis. So the students, they interact on a daily basis, and through this daily basis interaction, they actually the ability or the higher ability students rub off on each other. So in the end, they elevate each other to greater level. So I'm talking about daily basis, not just on a certain milestone like once every 3 months or once every 6 months like that. It's more of every single day.
Nah, I don't think there's a need for the students to interact at every single day in order for them to improve. In fact, I think that this minister is very bold in proposing this solution. And why do I say that? It's because I feel that if they were to implement this policy, it means that more students will be identified for this program and they can always interact through competition at different milestones throughout their academic journey. More students will benefit from this program, and in addition to that, it means that you will be able to identify high ability students not just on a single examination at primary 3 but also 4, 5 and 6, and it is making sure that the high ability program students will not fall through the crack. You'll be able to identify talents for the country, and I think that it's a very bold move, it's a very smart move, and it's going to be very good in the long term.
I tell you actually it's not like that one. My thinking in listen carefully, is because actually they say that all schools are good schools, but actually not really, not really all schools are good schools. There are really some schools, because we are living in the real world, so not all schools are good schools. There are really some schools that are slightly better than others. So when the students of those schools in the slightly better school, they interact with each other, and you can really see the difference in them. So when you design a high ability program at all these slightly better schools, you are creating an environment that is helping to shape their character, that is helping to let them see how other higher ability students behave. Then you will let them know what's happening outside. Then when they know about all this, I tell you, they will really improve one.
Seriously, in this age of technology, this is a very simple issue to solve. So if you are providing enough face-to-face interaction and you want to give them even more opportunities to interact, then have them to interact over digital platforms, and that's good enough. They'll be able to know what's the level of the other high ability students, and that is good enough for them to know exactly how others are faring, and that will act as the basis for them to improve on. You don't really have to interact on a daily basis. And the good thing about this program is that now they'll be able to enroll into this high ability program at primary 4, 5 or 6. And this means that if you are a late bloomer, you are going to get opportunities to be enrolled in this program. And on the policymaker's side, it means that you are getting more talents for your programs. And if you're getting more talents for this particular program, when they graduate from this program and they go on to other secondary schools and so on, right, you are going to get more talents for your civil service, for your working force. And that's why I think that this is a very good move.
Actually, if you think about it, to be enrolled at primary 4, 5 and 6 is a very strange thing to do. I mean, if you think about it okay, a student that is identified at primary 3 to join the gifted program, okay? So the student is actually intellectually very good okay? Then the student now won't change too much in primary 4, primary 5 or primary 6 one. How can it be that primary 3 a student cannot make it for the gifted program, then suddenly in primary 4 or primary 5 or primary 6, alright, and whichever level that you're saying, suddenly they become very good in a particular subject. There's no such thing one, because a student won't change much one. If they are good in mathematics, means they're good in mathematics. Then it won't suddenly become like they're not good in mathematics at primary 3, then suddenly in primary 5 they're very good in mathematics. No such thing one. So it's a very strange It's a very strange thinking on their part.
I'm arguing that students might change, and this higher ability program is a very wise move because you are catering for the late bloomers, right? And if you are able to identify these late bloomers, eventually the talent cohort is going to increase and the entire country is going to benefit as a result. And if let's say there aren't any late bloomers, then we don't even have to script this program. This program can just remain as it is. So the student cohort will just remain at its population level exactly when the students were drafted when they were at primary 3. So you don't have to enroll any more students at primary 4, 5 or 6. But the important thing is that you gotta have a channel in order for the late bloomers to be enrolled into this program and eventually benefit from this program.
I tell you, students will not change much one. The best of the best must interact with the best of the best. When the best of the best interact with the best of the best then they will become even better one. And I think this is the truth.
Well, I definitely agree with you that the best of the best has to interact with the best of the best, which is why you can create more opportunities from the students, for the high ability students, to interact with each other on a more frequent basis. And it can be done through face-to-face interaction, or it can be done through digital platform. So just give them the channel to interact, and that's enough. And on top of this, I argue that the main benefit of this program is that it has created a channel to absorb the late bloomers. And in that, it is creating a funnel in which that they will be able to identify more talents for the working force in the future. And that is the huge plus. Therefore, I say that my stance is that this program is an excellent program, not just in the near future, but in the mid and the long-term future as well, because you are going to be able to create more talents, or at least creating more channels to identify more talents for the future workforce.
Okay, that's your argument, okay? So now that's the end of the podcast episode. We're running out of time. So we can leave it to the audience to further discuss about this. And I'm sure a lot of people will be discussing about this higher ability program. And there will be different viewpoints. And I am sure that there are some people who will agree with me. But I'm sure there will be some people who agree with you also lah. But anyway, we have run out of time already. So, so to our listeners, I would like to thank you for your time that you spent in listening to us. Let us know what you think, and we hope to see you in the next episode. Thank you, and have a great weekend ahead.
Tuition Near Me, your #1 portal for everything that is related to education. See you at Tuition Near Me.